Cool. So fucking intro. What's up, boys?
What up,
How we doing?
Can we do a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1?
Why? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What's up, boys? How we doing?
Damn. Good. How are you?
Good. Pretty good.
This is the Arc Hive, number 20. 20.
This podcast can almost buy beer.
Almost.
Wait till it's actually 21 years old.
God damn.
You think there'll still be podcasts then?
Yes.
It'll probably be like some kind of thing that you just
Joe Rogan's talking straight into our brain.
Straight into your brain. Yeah.
He already does, man. He already does.
Yeah, close to it. I'll be on that Theo grind though.
Jesus. Can you imagine
he'll be like 60 years old.
He's saying, yeah, daddy, into our heads. He'll be just having his first kid.
Gang.
Yeah. Dude, it'll be wild. I wonder how much will really change in like 20 years, though. Will it be a lot? Will it be exponentially more? Well, I guess podcast wasn't around 20 years ago, so some other form of media will probably.
Yeah, man. I feel like something's going to hit because we've in the last 40 years, look at how much has changed, and we almost get to a point where we think, have we hit, a level, Are we just going to, continue working on things that we've already, got? Or is something new going to come about? And I feel like we're going to hit another stage at some point where something's just going to blow our minds again.
Yeah. We need another internet, man.
Yeah.
It's hard to think, but it was hard to think about the internet probably when it first came out.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine what, besides crazy science, advances, what else could there be? Everything's going virtual or digital.
AI will figure it out for us.
What a bro.
Yeah.
If that's within the next 20 years.
Yeah. Maybe. You think the singularity will happen in the next 40 years?
No.
You don't think so in 40 years?
I think that shit is so far out. Literally, not even...
Far out.
Not even like that. But literally,
I think 40 years. 2060, bro.
What's the singularity again?
Where AI is as intelligent as a human. One single AI has general intelligence of a human.
That's not what I was thinking. What was I thinking?
What's able to emulate.
That's what I was thinking.
Anyway.
There's no bridge between.
Yeah, the intelligence level, they could walk, they could fucking click the buttons on where it says choose the storefronts. When you're doing that, the AI would be able to do that. Yeah. The AI would be able to do that.
I am not a robot. I am, but don't
yeah. But that's still in a human form, having legs and shit. I feel like if we're talking the most advanced thing ever, I don't think that stuff matters.
I think it's more just if a intelligence of an AI, even if it was in a computer, it just had human level intelligence, in every area.
That's not too amazing.
Yeah, because it's kind of limited.
That is amazing for a fucking computer.
Cool. But I'm thinking all of the intelligence of the universe.
That might take a while.
But same with having human level, not even knowledge, but more intuition. 40
years, bro.
Because I think
when we do our 21-year-old podcast, we'll update.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or it'll already be out. Simulation.
We'll see.
What if it's already happened?
True. But, so the topic for this podcast I wanted to kind of dive into
is nothing.
Improvcast.
Damn, we don't have our sunglasses for this one.
Damn, that's okay. They can see us.
Stop.
Dang, I should have done that.
We'll have to restart it.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's wrong? You probably can't see it in the camera, but Trey's got pink eye right now.
Sometimes I like to sleep in my contacts.
You been eating that booty?
Dude, just them contacts.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, them contacts.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That rim contact.
I'm going to fucking give you pink eye.
Whoa. I'm immune to it. I've had it so many times.
Really? Have you ever had pink eye?
I remember having it one time as a kid, yeah. And bad, couldn't open my eye because it's all crusty. And there's
get away from me.
There's visual shit just caked on my eye. My eyes are watering thinking about it. I'm not crying, I swear.
One time I got poison ivy. I was mowing out at Cody's house, and Cody Wagner, and
shout out.
And anyway, there was poison ivy sticking over the fence. It was just kind of kept hitting me in the face when I was mowing, but I didn't think anything of it. And dude, I got so my whole face like swelled up, and had to go get a shot in my ass, some steroids.
Unrelated to the
to the previous shots in your ass. I can't imagine the pain.
But that reminds me, I was telling you the story the other day when I was cutting jalapenos.
Just cutting jalapenos.
And fucking totally forgot about it and went to take my contacts out later that night. And oh my God, did that burn so fucking bad.
Yeah, I whined about it for like 2 days.
It still hurts.
Pretty painful.
Yeah, it does suck.
I mean, I'm sure poison ivy is far worse.
When he was first telling me about it, I was like, oh no, he's going to tell me he went and took a piss, and then now,
Oh, I think I did, but I don't think that was unaffected. That was unaffected.
Does that happen?
Oh yeah, dude.
Cut jalapenos and then
jerk
it off or something?
Smack one out.
Or just take a piss.
Or just take a piss.
Yeah.
That was a bit of a Scooter would say a superfluous tangent. What was your topic?
Oh, I wanted to go
Scooter from Sleep With Me podcast, shout out.
Yeah, Chris has been big on
Love it.
Scooter.
That shit knocks me out.
Yeah. A podcast that knocks you out. Which is the point of the podcast, so he's doing it right, yeah.
The podcast that you don't need to listen to.
Yeah. But anyway, I wanted to go into just kind of like what it's like being a band in 2019 and kind of deep diving into that. With like the full honesty on display of the trials and tribulations.
Complete transparency.
And it's also awesome. I'm not saying just the negative things, but
yeah.
I think for anybody trying to be in a band, the idea is really cool, and you're like, we're going to make music, and then people are going to love it, and then we're going to be touring, and like you don't think of all the things that
life's made, you're set.
Yeah, you don't think of all the things that go in between. So like the idea is really cool. I feel like that's why a lot of people start off like, I'm going to do music, and then after a couple of years they're like, no. So
I think it's kind of, I think anything worth venturing into is going to be super hard.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's really just music. I think maybe it's kind of stereotypical to think musicians are kind of lazy, but
yeah,
the amount of work that goes into it is, you don't see it at a surface level. That's for sure.
Very true. It's
true.
true.
These people get like 30 minutes or a collection where like you go to a show, you get 3-4 bands playing, you got 2 hours, and those 2 hours are worthy of like months of work in between and even more than that sometimes, it takes a long time to be able to get the merch, get everything, and then get 5 people on a place together. So it's like,
and that's also, if it's a really good band, it's an accumulation of years of practice.
Yeah.
And like to get proficient at an instrument, to master it, they say the 10,000 hours or whatever. So if you see a band, you're seeing like 4 or 5 people with like 50 years of practice.
And your lifetime worth of experience between the lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, for sure.
It's crazy, man. But I think, it just comes with the territory of trying to do anything.
Yeah, creative. It's not even just music, just pursuing anything creative. Because I would say like the biggest struggle is, first of all, like creating something that you're proud of, and then figuring out how to release it. I feel like that's really hard to do. And you always get wrapped up in your own head. Like, we got to release it on this day, and then we're going to do this kind of like thing to market it and everything. And like, I think every creative has the feeling of you're so excited for this release, and then you release it and it's just not the reception that you were hoping for. And I think a big part of that is you're sitting there with it for so long. You're like, wow, this is awesome. Like you feel this attachment to it because you're working on it, but like nobody else feels that. And so sometimes it's really hard to release something to the world and the reception's just not there, and you're just kind of, it's funny because there's so many really high highs with music and then really low lows. Like, you'll get super amped like when you complete something, you know, and like that feeling is so good. Like just when you're working on something, or if you have a good practice, but then say you have a really good practice for a show and you're really excited about the show, you're like, we're going to crush it. And then you get to the show and there's 7 people in the crowd, and then you feel that low, you know, and it's really hard to bring, for me, you know, anyway, it's like hard to bring that energy.
Maybe you're seeking too much validation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't disagree.
No,
it's cool. Like, that's kind of the...
Definitely. No, I think anybody who creates something is low key looking for some kind of validation.
Mm-hmm.
That's like, if you plan to release something anyway, not even just music, art in general.
Yeah.
But most definitely, yeah, you work on something forever and you put it out and you want it to be, you know, accepted and praised, but
yeah. And it's like, you know, all the intricacies of that, you know,
through and through because you put in that time.
Yeah. And so you feel, you're like, wow, people are going to hear this. And I remember feeling that way with Forged Reality, but like, this is like really, you know, cool. And I feel like when people hear it, they're going to understand everything that, you know, like went into it. Now I totally understand Forged Reality, you know, like is what it is. Definitely room for improvement. But at the time, you know.
It's also the start, and you got to, you know, you can take what you got out of it because like you have this stuff, and say you write a really damn good song, or in your guys' case, the whole EP. I loved the EP, and it was like, like the way you see it, you're like, this is gonna fucking change people's lives. Like this music is gonna change people's lives. Like the music I listened to changed my life. That's all you like. That's what I'm searching for in my fan base. That's kind of like what I'd really love, like for someone to be able to like listen and understand and be like, oh, okay, you know, okay, I feel it the way I felt listening to, you know, some of my favorite bands, and that's all I really want. And it's like, you know, I feel like that's just not happened at the level that it's going to at some point. But it's just like, it still has, you know?
Yeah.
Like, for me as a fan, like, I get to be around you guys all the time. But it's like, I'm a huge fan of you guys. And I just got to see, you know, your first live show. And it's like, I may not show it as much, but I still, like, I'm a 100% huge fan. And then it's like, and I love the Forged Reality. I love every bit of it. I used to just, like, when that... I got, of course, I got, like, to hear everything as it came, you know, and then to the final release. And then, you know, once it was out, because I was still back in Kansas, I just play that thing over and over every day, you know. So it's like, I know every word. I know every little riff. I know every little bit of it. And it's just like, you know, Jonathan, for instance, you know, he was at the show too. And him and I were just like, we were getting down, you know, and that was amazing. Sick. He was singing every word. And it's just like, I'm getting cold chills now thinking about it. So it's just like, you know, it's hard that it's not at the level where it's wanted yet. You want to hit a mass of people like that, but it's hard to get people to notice. It's hard to get people to listen and then keep listening. Exactly like you just said.
Yeah, you gotta earn it for sure. And I think a lot of that comes with consistently releasing like good music where people can't like not pay attention. And I think that's the thing that we're really trying to figure out how to do. And I think that's the thing that separates like the great musicians, you know, and like the people who do make it. Because for me, over like the past year, I mean, it's just definitely not. Like, I think that we're all talented, but I think the level of musicianship isn't the, you know, for what we're trying to achieve, we're not there, you know.
I don't think you could really, I mean, you can, but to really expect that for a band that's a full band that's like a year old, you know.
Yeah. But in your head, you do, you know.
I mean, you want it, yeah.
Or maybe you don't.
Luck would be nice, but.
Chris is a lot more of a realist than I am. Because when I came out here,
a real man makes his own luck. Billy Zane, Titanic.
That's more like it. I aim to make the luck. Yeah, I don't really want to.
Because like I remember moving out here, and a lot of it's like, it is shitty. Like, and we've talked about this before with ego and everything, but a lot of it is vanity on my end. Because I remember moving out here, and like most of my friends thought it was a big mistake moving out here, and I think they don't feel so much like that anymore, but it's still not like I'm as successful as, you know, it's not like they're like, oh, wow, he did it, you know? It's more of just like, oh, he's still in Nashville after a couple years. Like, he's not moving back, you know? But I think, like, when I first moved out here, I was really wanting to be successful so I could prove a point to my friends that it wasn't a mistake, which is stupid, and I acknowledge that now. But you know, you have those feelings, and I think a lot of people can probably relate to that. Is like you want to be able to be like, I told you, you know, like I told you this was going to happen.
Have something to prove, and I feel like having that it can be a very big motivator, you know, because you want to prove to these people that have seen you grow. You want to prove to yourself, you know, like, and I feel like letting that have like a high chair is probably a bad thing, but keeping that at a level and a motivator, I don't think that's bad.
Yeah, it still got you out here.
Yeah,
so
yeah, for sure. Really and we've done really cool things. I mean, like if I wouldn't have moved out here, there's so many experiences we wouldn't have had.
Yeah,
you know, one's like still creating music. Like I might be able to do that at home, but I wouldn't be the musician I am now. You know, like I wouldn't even be close. And then
who knows where you'll go still?
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Like, there's still a far way to go.
I wouldn't ever got into marketing. We got to play NAMM. You know, like we've done a lot of cool things and
stuff.
You know, without
Nashville's just badass.
Yeah, yeah, it's cool here, and just hang out with your friends all the time.
You got a kick-ass podcast. You know, you've had
got
some kick-ass bands,
decent roof above our heads.
Yeah,
some cool-ass dogs.
Yeah,
I got a '99 Saturn.
You do, yeah.
Can't complain, bro.
But
we eat every day.
But yeah, I think that's
good. Eat good.
That's one of the struggles. The other one, I think, for people who work with other people is getting everybody on the same page.
Oh yeah,
and that is, I feel like many can relate for people who are in bands and stuff. Because the thing is, everybody has issues in their life, but it all doesn't happen at the same time, and sometimes it does, which makes it even worse. You know, if like multiple band members are struggling financially, that makes it very hard to kind of keep the spirits high. And then, you know, just when people go through certain things, it's hard to just get everybody like, hey, like we got this really cool thing ahead of us. It's hard to see the big picture, you know?
Definitely.
And, I don't really know how to remedy that. I don't really know what the answer is.
I mean, I think there will always be issues, but
I think it's just always being there for each other is a huge thing, and always trying to help out each other. That's one thing I think we all try to do. But yeah, I feel like
also a bit of perspective helps too. Depends on your issue. You know what I mean? And
very true.
But that does require having a good eye on the bigger picture.
Yeah.
Because if you're struggling financially, it's like, that sucks, but you can easily do something about it. Or you just broke up with your girlfriend, that sucks, but you could still put in the time on your instrument or whatever, write songs.
It takes time, a lot of it. That's something I've noticed, and something, you know, like some of the biggest help since I got down here, honestly, is I've grown as a musician. Even I've been here just since February, you know, and I felt like I've grown in a plethora of ways, and something that I've had a ton of help, because like you said, being supportive, being there for each other, you know, I felt like you've been a great help to me and a lot. Both of you have, you know, and I couldn't ask to be in a better place, but it's just like something I've learned is I just, you know, for one, I got to be thankful for where I'm at. I got to be thankful for what I have. I got to know that there's a ton of people out there who would kill to be in the position that I'm in.
Yeah.
And then it's like, I got to know that I'm going to make it through it. It's going to take time, but you're going to come out the other end of it. You know, it's just, and that's something really important to remember. It's just like, because the second you cut yourself off, you feel like this is it. I can't go anywhere from here. The second you trap yourself, you're screwed, you know, like, you know, it's like a fox being caught in a trap. They'll eat their own freaking leg to get out of it, and they'll die if they just, but it's just, you gotta wait. You gotta
keep at it.
Give it some time, because you'll come out the other end. You'll come out better. You'll come out learning things, you know, older, wiser.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest key to try to keep in mind always, is that if you keep going, like, you might not achieve the success that you want to achieve or in the area you're trying to achieve, but if you're consistently working towards something, like, you're going to find your way. And that's one thing I always try to keep in mind, and I am always trying to be thankful for, you know, what we have. I think that we have
perspective is
pretty
crazy.
Like, of course we have shit that happens, you know, and we'd like to create music full time and not do all the bullshit in between, but I would say that we have pretty cool lives.
I'd say our problems are pretty minor.
Yeah.
And like, I think Jordan Peterson mentioned somewhere like just being in this country and, you know, being healthy and whatnot, like we are quite privileged.
Yeah.
Even to have our problems.
Yeah.
And then also Sam Harris has talked about, you know, I can't remember the example he was talking about, where he was just like there's billions of people that would like kill to be in your position with the problem you're like struggling with. And it's true.
It is.
It's like our problems aren't even really problems in reality. But
First world problem.
You only see it, for sure. But you only see it from, you know, your viewpoint, so it seems,
because you're only in your world, your bubble. You know, so it's always about you, and it which is understandable. Like, it's nothing to look down on, because, I mean, you are around you all the time, so your problems are the only thing that you can really comprehend. It's like, you can think of, like, wow, there's children starving in Africa and dying of diseases that, you know, and don't have clean water. It's like, you can understand that that's a thing. But
unless you're there first,
and it's funny. The Bill Burr and Theo Vaughn podcast go into that. How Theo said that when he went to Africa, he was like, "I knew it was a thing, but I didn't know it was like a thing." You know, like, because until you're there,
100%,
like, you don't understand. So you can understand that your problems are small, but it doesn't change the fact that they're still your problems, and you have to
still feel like your problems. For sure.
So that's nothing to look down on. I just think that it's also good.
I'm just saying it's a good reminder to change your perspective every now and then and see where you're really at. I think I use that as a big motivator, as like, we are insanely lucky to be in this country, and us specifically, like, healthy. You know what I mean? We don't have any chronic illnesses, or at least if we do, they're not very major. So it's like, shit, we got, you know, you got a good hand.
I think that's the thing to remember, is like, understand that you have your problems, but also, like, look at the perks in your life too, because that'll help you kind of ground yourself.
Some gratitude.
Yeah. It's like, oh man, I'm not going to be able to make rent, but I have the ability to do Uber Eats or work extra at my job to make that money. Like, that's a huge...
Or rob a bank.
Yeah.
You can still buy a gun, right, from Target or something.
Yeah, true.
You still have the option. Don't do it.
But it's there.
Unless you're hurting.
Yeah. No, not even then.
No.
My mom
But then, see, another beautiful thing about this country, you rob a bank, you get locked up for what, 20 years or something? Free food and shelter.
Yeah. There you go. Solve your problems.
3 meals and a bed.
Taxpayers love it.
Yeah.
And you can get checked.
Yeah,
and
true.
Never mind. Not going.
I mean, in a couple different ways, but
yeah. But yeah, man, I think that's an important thing for creatives, is always trying to be like, because when you pursue like a creative passion, like, there's really not another option, because it's just something that you love, and it's
like, I think back to Jordan Peterson, he has this video on the curse of creativity where he talks about, you know, like, don't think of, you know, like, a lot of people look at us, like, when, like, musicians, for example, like, are really great artists in any sense. They're like, oh, I wish I could do that. And it's like, a lot of us were like, oh, you could. I mean, if you put in the time and hours that we did, you know. But it's just like, he talks about, he's like, don't think it's so great to be creative, because it's just like, we're passionate about it. We couldn't see ourselves. You know, if we tried to not do it, it would just eat us up inside. We would feel like we're missing a part of our life. And then it's really hard to monetize it. You know, it's really hard to want to, you know, like, get people to listen, get people to, you know, buy said product. It's really hard to, like, you can have a big payoff if it does happen, but it's just really hard to get there. You know, it takes a lot of time, and it's just like, and like, more what he talks about in that, you know, I think we're doing it in the best possible way we can, because you have to, like, provide for yourself until you're established enough to be able to, you know, comfortably live, and then just be able to do that. But because you can't just go into it full time. I mean, unless you can, unless you got zero
Yeah,
responsibilities,
yeah, that's cool.
Then hell yeah, I say kudos to you and do it.
But yeah, that's the biggest thing is just like figuring out how to monetize it, and especially with art, it's like I feel like you feel guilty trying to get somebody to pay for art, which is weird because like if somebody was gonna come, clean your house, you would pay them and stuff, and I don't understand why, and I mean this honestly because I feel like art, like if somebody's like pay for this, like I'll just stream it on Spotify or something. But like it is harder to, how much do you really buy from a band, that brings you joy? Like I get that your super fans and stuff will, but it's just weird that with like creative things, you see those things all the time where people who do art on Facebook and it blows up and it goes viral and people are always like, oh, draw me this, just like, not like, hey, I'll pay you this amount of money or whatever you think to do it, but draw me this.
Yeah.
Or people who do like, I know people will pay for all this stuff, but like doing video editing and like all that stuff in between, it all seems like people are like, oh, $20 or.
Well, video editing is much more of a service. Mm-hmm. But with art, you're not getting, I don't think you're getting a tangible product aside from like, a physical drawing or something.
Yeah.
But with like music, you're getting, I guess, the experience if you're at a show, and so I think depending on what level of a quality experience you give them, it's like, it's worth it, like if I pay to see, some big band and it's a great time, I think I got my money's worth, what I mean? Sure. So I think for us, it's the goal of getting to the point where we feel like we're putting out something that's worthy of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is
so I could understand
another like trial and tribulation of being a band is getting your live show up to snuff. That's one thing I feel like is pretty.
It's just another thing to master, man.
Yeah.
Putting the time.
Because that's like, you think of everything that goes into it. You don't want to just go perform your songs. And you want to like sound good, and there's just so much that goes into all that, and
yeah,
I feel like that's the thing that we're trying to figure out right now, get our live show there, which is disheartening and encouraging in a sense. It's like you want to be able to just kill it, but you got to put in the time.
That's it. Just put in the time.
Yeah.
It'll just become second nature, all the stuff that goes into it.
And we're pretty lucky with the
performing.
Yeah, we're pretty lucky with the cabs at least. That's a cool like different thing. I think we've gotten a compliment from
I think it just snowballs.
Every sound guy that we've seen. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's next level shit.
Yeah.
And before we had those, it was just an idea, but
yeah,
the stars aligned and it came to fruition.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm sure the next thing will, happen, whether that's like sick ass lighting or something, but
yeah,
it just snowballs. Or like us literally performing better.
Yeah.
That'll just come through repetition.
Yeah, and doing it. I think
it's just literally everything is just putting in the damn time.
It is, yeah. And that's the other thing is like, and you have to do it too. You have to release shit because it's going to get better.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have to perform and play shows. Like I would die if we had to play a big show right now because we're not even close to, where it should be to do that. But like playing all these little shows is going to allow you to be able to do that someday. And same with writing music and.
Well, I don't think at any point when we go to play a first like big show, it's going to be like easier no matter how much time we put in.
Mm-hmm.
But then you got to get used to playing big shows.
But I feel like you'll be more. It's kind of like what we were talking about when I was talking about how I want a product that I'm very confident in, and I'm like, people need to hear this, and that's how I want the live show to be too. Like, oh, we're gonna go out and blow people's minds. Whereas right now, I'm like, people might have a good time, like people can have a good time and hear some stuff. But
see, I mean, I like that one too.
Well, yeah, but
I don't know. Maybe my standpoint isn't like you need to hear this.
Yeah,
that's not true. No one needs to hear it.
But I want to feel confident enough in the music.
If you listen to this and you come out, you're gonna have a sick ass time.
Yeah, like I want to feel confident enough to be able to do that.
Definitely. You're more external, where I'm more internal about, I guess, success.
Mm-hmm.
not even success, but like I want to be like so confident in our shit that we just enjoy doing it. And I think you hopefully you get to the point where you can't be ignored.
Right.
You know, where the music is just like that level. I think that's kind of like any artist we really like is what they did.
Yeah.
As they...
if you build it, they will come.
Yeah.
If you build it well enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I just mean, like, I think that is kind of the key, is putting in the time, and then you're going to get... By putting in that time, you're going to come up with ideas and create unique experiences to allow yourself to be at that level. But I think this kind of goes back to the conversation I had with Norman from iGriever about the instant gratification, and like it's putting in the grind is tough, and I think that just is what I mean by trials and tribulations of being in a band.
Yeah,
is like it does take time. Like to be an instant success is 1 in thousands. Like the chances are
thousands. I would say millions.
And I feel like the people who do get instant success aren't ready for it, and it burns them out. Like you can look at, Billie Eilish right now.
Justin Bieber.
She's amazing. Yeah, Justin Bieber, look at him. He's not even doing anything right now. But it's just like Billie Eilish, she's been on the she's had about 2 years of success. She's been on the road the entirety of that 2 years. Her whole life is plastered over everything, and it's just like she makes amazing music. Like it's like I'm not in any doubt to that. She's got great ticket sales. She has the level of success like even most top tier bands will never reach. But it's just like it's worked her dry, and she's only 17. Like she's just burnt out already, and they've milked her for all she's worth. And hopefully it comes to a point where that can come to tame, so we can, of course, like get more from her. But
she's more free to kind of sort herself out outside of music now that she's set for life, and her kids are her future kids. Whereas like someone who has to work up to that success, by the time they're there, they're ready for it. They're willing to put in that grind. They're willing to put in that time. Because there's, you look at interviews of bands that have worked their asses off. Like you look at Metallica for a long time, they'd get off the road, they'd record an album, back on the fucking road for another year and a half, get off, record an album, back on the fucking road, like 8, 9, 10 years straight of that. And then look how long they've been going. But of course they take some time off now for their stuff. But
which is a trial and error thing too, even at that level. I think if you watch like their documentary, they talk about like just the tensions in the band, and then they they learn that they can't keep doing that with kids and stuff now, and now they take these breaks in between even shows on a tour now. And so, everything just comes to time and trying something and failing and then doing something better, for sure. I'm not getting at that. I just mean the emotions that I feel and I'm talking about, I don't mean it in, I understand that things take time. I'm just saying, the emotions are there, though. I feel those feelings. I kind of understand that they're there. And so I was just trying to bring it up because I know other people probably feel that too. But it's true. You have to work up to the level of success that you want. Otherwise, it's not going to be... One, it kind of keeps you humble. And that's the thing that I love about having other bands on and stuff, too, is, they're so good. It just keeps you... You're like, wow, these people are doing things that I would have never thought about.
That's also a good... Yeah, just being humble where... As you see success, you're kind of humbled by all those failures and, kind of replanning everything. The more you fail, that you're just going to get... kind of knocked back into reality. So when you do hit some success, you're going to be like, okay.
Yeah.
Not going to be crazy.
Yeah.
Hopefully not.
For sure. Yeah. And I think that's a big thing, is always supporting other musicians too. That was the cool thing about, having Red Drop Click and them with that genre of music and always trying to lift each other up. And I feel like that's truly being humble, is wanting other people to succeed as well. Because I've seen a lot of times where musicians feel like if somebody's succeeding, then they're not going to be able to, which is not true.
Yeah, passion should create passion.
We're all trying to do the same thing. that's kind of like why I wanted to go over this too, in case maybe in years there's a band starting and they have these feelings, and they stumble across the Arc Hive number 20.
The Arc Hive. We were here. What a great name, because in 20 years it'll be archived. Yeah. So. I mean, I've definitely thought about that before.
That was where the name came from. That was the point.
Yeah. I'm a fan. Nah, for sure, man. You just gotta.
But you can do.
You gotta fall down.
Yeah.
You gotta
get back up
be
again.
in the arena, as Brene Brown would say. Mm-hmm. Be in the arena, not in the stands.
Yeah, go into that, because that's a cool thing that you're telling me.
That's literally, she just talked about how it was from a Teddy Roosevelt quote. Like, it's a long quote. I can't fucking recite it, but yeah, the summary of it is to just not listen to people criticizing from afar or saying you're doing something wrong, but to just be out there in the arena, just like getting your ass whooped, blood, sweat, and tears, and to really just kind of be, I guess, picky, but not too receptive of criticism. It depends on where
it's
it comes
like not
from.
Listening to the analogy is really cool. Not listening to the crowd, of what they're saying for you.
Stadium.
Yeah, they're just watching, but they're not experiencing, and you're experiencing, and you're learning.
And you're getting like ripped apart.
Yeah,
but you're like putting yourself out there, which is
because everybody's watching you.
So then you just take criticism from people that are in the arena or have been, know how it is. That's kind of how I feel about criticism. That's why I don't really care much about or try not to pay much attention to, YouTube comments or anything like that.
Yeah, because then there's straight up hate, and then there's like, constructive criticism.
Yeah.
So it's like, there's a good bridge. It's just, like you got to respect the constructive criticism. You got to use that, and it's like, you can either tear yourself down from that, because constructive criticism, like for me personally, I can take hate. It's like, oh, you fucking suck. You should stop. You should quit forever. Like, okay, bro. Like, thanks.
Don't help me.
Like, I haven't heard that
me
before. But it's just like someone, that you really respect, says
Absolutely.
that was horseshit and you need to try harder. Man, that will fuck me up.
Yeah,
it is hard.
Like,
it's just where's the source coming from?
Yeah.
If it's like somebody that I want to be like, then I'll be like, okay.
Yeah.
But
it doesn't mean like it doesn't hurt. I think that's what.
Definitely.
Yeah, it can. Yeah.
But then you choose whether to use
you
that.
grow from it, and then I think that was the biggest lesson from like joining this band and learning how to do that. My old band wasn't too great at like communicating with stuff like that because tensions would get so high. Whereas here, I think understanding if somebody, especially somebody in your band, because like you chose these musicians because you respect like them as a musician. So somebody in your band's like, this could probably be better. You shouldn't be like, I fucking wrote that. It's good as shit.
I disagree.
Like, but you should be like, okay, if they think it can be better, then let me,
open up to the possibility.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And if you can't write something better, then I feel like everybody would be honest about that. It wouldn't be like, like, okay, maybe that one thing is good because nothing else fits here or something. Not that ever happens, but if it did, I feel like everybody would, you're all on the same team as in a band.
That's kind of the double-edged sword of it is you're getting a lot of feedback, but that's good for,
growing.
As long as the chemistry's there and you kind of on the same page or got the same path in mind, the more feedback, the better.
Yeah.
As long as it's a good source of feedback. And like you said, you want to respect the opinions of people in your band, so it only helps. But yeah, criticism can hurt for sure, but just the fact of putting yourself out there.
There's a solid, when I was like first started kind of recording myself and sending music over to Trey, I don't think that for like probably within like the first like 3-4 months that I was doing stuff, whatever I send over to Trey, it would just be like, okay, here's a list of things to do, or like just not even a decent reply, but I would not get one. I would not get one, hey, that was okay, that was good, but you know what, like I went through, I took all that, I worked on it, I put in hours, I grinded, you know, I obviously got better. I could have let it shut me down because I was upset. Oh, fuck, I hurt a whole ton because I was just like, I just want that validation, you know? I just want a musician that I respect to tell me that my stuff was good enough so I know that it's worthy. And then, which isn't like 100% the right way to go about it, because it was always like, if you like it and that's the way you want it, then do it. But if you know it could be better, because you know it could be, you know that I'm capable of better, then like do that. So when it finally did come to a point where I got like not only good feedback, but like, damn, that was really good, you've come a long way, like
you're on the right
track. All that bullshit, all the stuff that I got told I could work on, everything, you know, every bit of bad was just like, oh, all that's out the window for one moment of just like, you know, like you can tell that you've grown. Like every bit of that was worth it. You understand why. And it's just like, you know, you don't even realize it happening as you're going through it. Then you know.
But it makes sense. It's just a good metric for improving, you know, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. And you really have. Goddamn. Some of Cody's first stuff that he sent, and now he can write some good ass shit. And yeah, I mean, that all came from not crawling into a hole and being like, fuck you, this is good, you know?
Yeah.
And like,
and it's really hard to not crawl in that hole.
It is, yeah. It really is hard to.
That's you climbing up the stadium, bro. You stay in the arena.
Yeah. Because now I can, you know, like, now I can send over something and I just get a, you know, like I was talking with, I sent over something, for example, to Benji the other day, which I'm not going to go into any of that, but, like, I know the example I put out, I used to send, when you used to send me something that I thought was like, holy fuck amazing, I would say, Trey, ... And because I was just like, oh, fuck, you know, this is amazing. Like, you've come so far. I'm such a big fan of you, blah, blah. But I finally got, like, a Cody ... to me. And it just like, dude, I could have shot through the fucking roof. So, Benji, if you're watching this, I don't know, but thank you. Yeah. You made my day. But
yeah, man. And that's just, like, the key. And, you know, we all still have such a long way to go. I think that's the cool thing. Is like knowing how much further we can still grow and understanding that.
Oh man, limitless.
Yeah, I mean it really is.
Sky's the limit.
Bradley Cooper.
Yeah, but that's such an important thing is to also never feel like you're such a badass that.
Definitely not.
Too late.
Yeah.
Too late.
Now that Cody's got his compliments, he's
like, great. There we go.
Yeah.
It's like, well. You guys are an okay band.
Yeah. It's like, hey, the new Archeons is pretty good, but I could do a lot better.
Yep.
But, yeah, man, I feel like the key is just to keep going. No matter what, like, shitty things happen, just keep going. Shitty things happen in your life, the band, or whatever creative passion you're following. Like, it's just part of it.
This too shall pass.
Yeah. And like it's gonna,
namaste.
You're always gonna keep getting better.
Yeah, and like you said, you're gonna find your path, even if it's not the one you were originally thinking of. But if you just follow that North Star, you'll get there.
You're gonna end up exactly where you're supposed to either way. Whether you're like, you know,
it's true. Yeah. That's a good way to look at really anything. This is how it's supposed to be.
Because you see little signs of stuff here and there where you're just like, you know, okay, you know, like this, definitely. I can tell that I've worked my ass off, and it's like, and it's just a little, like, maybe not somebody saying something, but it's just like, you'll get to have an experience of just like, you know, okay, this was, you know,
a little spot
for me
for sure.
Or just life, life just giving you a little hint, because life's weird like that. It's just like,
it is,
it can show you so much. It can also make you think that, you know, it can show you like that you're doing a great job, but it can also show you that, like, hey, you need to remember that you're just like a tiny little speck. And that's something that was really, you know,
it's good. You need both.
You do.
Yin yang.
You need a good balance.
True that.
Yeah. Is that what it stands for? Balance.
I mean, kinda. I think so.
Not very good at
Did you do the sexual harassment training at work?
Fuck that shit. No, yes, I did.
The what's it called? This for that. What's that called?
You want to? Yes, I did that, but I was playing RuneScape the whole time. I like played it in the background, and like it's obvious shit.
Yeah, I know, it's so funny. It's like it was just the videos were just cracking me up, man.
I think that's what I thought when I started listening to it. I was like, Trey's gonna have a ball with this.
Just like the dude, he's walks in. And the chick's like, oh, yeah, I didn't know you were, like, working today. You know, like, what are you doing here? And he's like, I was just in the area. I thought I'd come see you. He's like, I got an opening for a position, and you're at the top of my list. And she's just like, oh, that's cool. And then it just, like, leads up with him, like, pulling out a key card. He's like, take this. Room 226 downtown. He's like, show me how much you want that job.
Puts his sunglasses on.
Yeah. No. I was just like, but like just how they did it was so funny.
Yeah, it's
like this is
ridiculous.
Awesome. But now nobody's gonna get sexually harassed on my watch.
Not ever.
I'm certified, baby. I'm trained.
Something like that.
Yeah. But
certified sexual harassment stopper.
That's right.
You should get a T-shirt.
I should.
Yeah, get a little cape on it.
Fucking
little cape.
That job, which is another thing we complain about a lot, but also be thankful for.
I think what you were talking about with Jordan Peterson, I think he talks about how you should have another job as an artist unrelated to your area, and I could see that. I could get behind that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you gotta have a way to support yourself and support your passion. You know,
yeah,
until it comes full time. Unless you don't want it to be full time, which could add to just the more authentic music if you don't care at all about making money from it.
Yeah, and something that's also really amazing is there's a ton of people like, you know, that they don't want to take. Like they love playing music. It's really important to them. Like Robert Baker. I don't know if you guys know who he is.
Sounds familiar.
He's a YouTuber. But he's got a wife and a kid. He's not really interested in going and playing any shows, but he has a platform like YouTube that he can just like, he's got a good following on there, and thankfully, he's sponsored. He's got, he can live his whole life on there, but a ton of people ask him like, oh, do you want to come play live shows? Do you want to do things like this? And he's like, he's done that. He's like, all I really want to do is sit in my room and play guitar. He's like, I love playing music, but it's just like,
yeah.
He loves teaching music. He does lessons and everything, but it's just like, music's like what music is to you is different than what it is to a lot of people. So there's a ton of people out there who will just like, they'll just go home and want to play some guitar. Like,
yeah, for sure.
And that's all the more they want out of it. And that's amazing. That's just as amazing as people who want to, go out and live their life. And if you just want to make some YouTube videos and throw them up, like that's cool. Just, I definitely feel like it's I'd say if you, have the talent, you should, in some sort, like,
don't bogart
put it out there,
Yeah,
exactly. Like, if you're some, you're the next fucking, like, Jimmy Page, and you don't want to show anything because you're just sitting in your room.
Yeah.
It's a bit of, I don't want to say it's a waste, but, I mean, kind of a waste, like.
You should want to share your art.
Take a YouTube video or something.
Yeah, there's a guy when I was at the CD Baby DIY conference. He was like that too. He talked about how his job like allowed him to be able to do music, and he just plays piano like on the side pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And like he gets these experiences from it, and that's all he really wants. Like he got to fly overseas and stuff and play in like a castle, and
got to taste.
It was just because he was pretty much doing like a seminar about how to like have your day job accent your work, and so like he still works not related to music, and then just gets to do this music stuff on the side and the reason he got to play overseas is because somebody at his work, knew that he played piano and was like, hey, he was like, so I wouldn't have got that experience if it weren't for my job. Yeah. It was pretty much just like a perspective thing of like, you can use anything, there's just different paths for everyone.
Definitely.
I think, for us, obviously we want the rock star, like touring and fucking getting schmammered.
Rock star, but
well, like
definitely
playing tours,
touring and
drinking,
making records. A lot of drinking. Yes, I guess if you want to call it rock star, whatever. But definitely, I think the lifestyle, we want more of the lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, just creating content's cool, too, for sure. But
well, this is a cool start. And, like, that's the dope thing about being a musician now is, like, we can kind of do these things that are...
unrelated-ish.
Well, yeah, that and
Seemingly.
just, like, it makes you feel successful in a way to be able to film a podcast, edit it, or when we put together our videos or editing, you know, music videos and all that. In some way, it kind of gives you this validation of success because you're like releasing all this content, whereas, you know, you couldn't do that back in the day. So it's kind of like even more so of a way of keeping yourself going. And I think that's one way that I always feel like we're progressing, you know, even if we're at kind of like a standstill where we're not like gaining tons of fans or making sales or anything like that, like still just releasing content and doing things makes you feel like you're progressing. You can see the little spikes, you know, your Spotify monthly listeners goes up 1 person. You're just like, I fucking made it.
Yeah.
You know,
like just enjoying the process, man. I like creating content.
Yeah.
And there's always something going on.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Damn it, Bobby.
No, down.
Goddamn, everybody know that boy.
Goddamn boy.
But that was pretty much my talks. Anything you guys want to go over? Too bad.
We could talk about how hungry I am right now.
I am pretty hungry. Haven't ate.
I want iced coffee, kind of.
Dude, I'm about to make some iced coffee. I'll make you some.
I'm about to have to make some more
I haven't
coffee.
had any iced coffee here. Ever.
You've never had an iced coffee here?
Not since last vacation. Remember when I came down for that and you still put creamer in it? Not
I mean,
since
it's
I
pretty
lived
good.
here. Pretty good.
It's
both.
like regular coffee, iced coffee,
Cold brew.
cold brew.
Oh, okay.
Cold brews were
That's definitely been a Nashville thing since moving here.
Yeah.
I didn't know that it even existed before here, but god damn cold brew.
Yep. Shout out to Carrie for getting those dope things.
Those
Those
are pretty-
cold brew things.
Yeah. They're little pitcher type things that you make your cold brew in, and it's very handy, very cool.
It is, yeah.
Didn't know such a thing existed.
Oh. Yeah, I'm hungry as fuck though, so
Let's
do that.
Yeah. This is a good sesh, boys. Good talk.
yeah.
Yes, sirs.
Till next time.
Till next
That wasn't
time.
even
My
really
pleasure.
an improv cast.
Sorry. I had a topic.
That was a real podcast.
Damn.
You'll know when they're improv casts because we'll have sunglasses on.
Hey.
Yeah. Well, I told you I wanted to go over a subject, and you're like, well, let's just make it a improv.
Well, we
cast.
kind of did that the first improv cast, but then, we
went
got it out of the way, and then we just fucking had a good old time.
Yeah.
Not that we did it this time.
Yeah.
It was just less
I
than
didn't.
fun.
I hated it.
Yeah. I hate serious conversation.
It's good to have the serious ones and then, just bullshitting.
It's like we
I
don't
like a good blend of
We
both.
need to stop giving out these successful
Well, we
secrets.
got-
So people could be paying for these. So tip
Well, you have
us.
to give value,
We still haven't.
and then you can put it behind paywalls.
There goes everything.
Well, that's the biggest secret of all,
Well,
Trey.
that's like a indiepreneur. He'll release so much of his shit in the podcast. Whereas, like, if you really would just sit down and study the podcast and then write everything down, like it's really close to the trainings. But then he still, people who want to pay for the trainings can do that too. So he gives away most of the secrets, and then he just
I
does.
think that's fair.
Yeah.
You have to put out a lot of work, a lot of content to earn the following or whatever, to earn the monetization.
Yeah, digital
I think it
marketer
just
does that
comes with
too. I mean, every
You don't
podcast
want it to
has,
sound inauthentic.
Yeah.
Because like I was saying, I just like creating content, so it's cool to do podcasts and shit, but you just kind of put in the work, and
I feel like most podcasts are
hopefully it'll
like
build value.
information based.
Definitely.
You know, like to give you value of information.
That's where like the improv cast is
Unless you're like
no
Theo.
strings attached.
Unless you're like Theo Vaughn,
You're not
you can
gonna
just
gain-
talk about your feelings.
Yeah.
That's what I should do. I just want to like, hey guys, it's
We'll
me
do
again.
we'll do a secret.
He just uploads a random podcast. Archive 21. It's just it's me.
Hey, it's me. So I wanted to talk to you guys about anxiety.
Talking about my emotions. Oh no, I just thought we've kind of already done that, but not with you.
What?
A podcast exactly in that vein
What?
with him when he went to Cali.
Oh yeah.
We're just
Yeah.
joking, but no, that was a good one.
No, but yeah. That stuff is serious. We're not making light of mental health.
No, it was just funny that we set up a scenario and it's the exact scenario that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was what was that? What did we have going on around that? There was something else that tied into something.
I think we were still doing a Forged Reality stuff, weren't we?
Maybe. It was a minute ago.
Or was it right? I think it was right after the last
episode of Forged Reality.
Yeah, I think it was right after that.
Yeah, it tied into something.
Right in that.
On the last episode of A Forged Reality.
On the first episode of the first episode.
Of the first episode.
Well, boys, it's been fun.
Yeah,
real.
I know. Now we're just talking stuff that we can do off camera.
Yep. Let's go fucking have some cold brew.
Coffee.
I'm gonna eat some ribs.
There's still some ribs. Dope.
There's a shit ton of ribs. Yes.
We're gonna go have some ribs.
We're gonna have coffee.
Shout out to Eric
some ribs.
for them ribs.
Yes,
yeah,
thank you very much. They're wonderful.
Well,
all right.
To everyone out there, stay golden.
It's been fun.
God bless America.
God bless us, everyone.
And why can't I vote online yet? Fuck!